Hello and welcome to another beautiful day with Sparrow. This is Dakshina, and today we're going to have a fascinating conversation with one of our doctors about a step towards a healthy lifestyle. And for today's topic, we have how should the perfect bedtime routine be for a good night's sleep? And we have Dr. Dikshita with us. Thanks for coming on the show with us, Doctor.
Thank you so much for having me.
Our first question for you today is, what does Ayurveda say about sleep in general?
So, Ayurveda terms sleep as one of the Trayopastambha in life, along with Ahara and Brahmacharya. So, this means that it is one of the three fundamental pillars that you need to have a balanced life. At the same time, Nidra is mentioned as one of the Adharanya Vega, which means natural urges that occur in your body that you're not supposed to suppress, or it might lead to certain complications in life. So there's a very important relation between your sleep, your appetite, and your koshta, which refers to bowel movement. So if you notice that when you have sound sleep, you end up having a better appetite throughout the day and you have clear motions early in the morning itself. At the same time, when you have 4 hours of unrested sleep, then you end up feeling groggy, you're not hungry at the right times, and you're most of the times constipated. So this shows the importance of nidra. Along with this, Ayurveda has mentioned 6 types of sleep that's caused due to different things. So, your first and foremost would be the sleep that is very natural due to Ratri Swabhava. And this is what leads to nourishment. The second one would be due to increase in kapha dosha, which happens due to intake of heavy foods or junk foods, oily foods, and things like that, which aggravate your kapha dosha. The third kind of sleep is due to increase in the tamaguna, and that could be because of all the negative emotions such as loneliness, sluggishness, dullness, and depression. The fourth sleep could be because of shrama, which is nothing but an exerted mind or body, and this could be because of travel or office workload. The fifth and sixth kind of sleep are due to any illnesses that you have and the medications that you could take for it. So, this is what Ayurveda says about Nidra in general.
Okay, as a doctor, why would you suggest that a person should have a planned sleep routine? Like, what does Ayurveda say about that?
So, planned sleep routine will ensure that you have a better sleep, and that is all you need. You could sleep for 10 hours, but if you're not feeling rested and you don't feel good in the morning, then there is no point of it. So, you need to make sure that you sleep for the right duration at the right time and wake up at the right time. And you can say that our body works in sync with the nature. So, you have to understand that, when the world goes to sleep, you need to go to sleep as well.
So, is this about the biological clock of an individual, about how the nature wakes up, our body wakes up? How does that work?
That's true. It's advised to wake up at least 45 minutes before sunrise, and that is termed as Brahma Muhurta. So, this is the ideal time to wake up.
Also, how does one know that he or she has a bad sleep routine, and how should one improve on having a routine? As a doctor, what do you suggest?
Okay, so there are a few telltale signs for this. If you find yourself lying down in bed for 2 hours without falling asleep, if you wake up feeling groggy, unfocused, demotivated, and if you have reoccurring bad dreams and you can't focus and you have memory lapses, so all these show that you have a bad sleep routine and you need to work on that.
All right. What do you think happens if you oversleep or undersleep?
So, though Ayurveda says that sleep is very important, it doesn't ask you to sleep all the time. So, you should know that the right duration of sleep at the right time is what is beneficial to you. If you tend to oversleep, this aggravates your kapha dosha, and that leads to improper digestion, heaviness, stiffness, bloating. At the same time, when you have reduced sleep, it will increase your vata dosha. It will aggravate it, and that will lead to body pain, dizziness, inability to focus in your work. So you need to understand that to prevent diseases, you need to have the right amount of sleep.
Okay, okay, that's great, that's great. As a doctor, could you tell us what is the ideal duration of sleep for an adult?
So the ideal duration of sleep, it varies from person to person. For example, people who are lean with an irregular appetite, erratic thoughts, and a very active lifestyle. So they need around 6 to 7 hours of sleep. And those with a good appetite and muscular frame, and these people fall under the Pitta Prakriti category. So they need around 7 to 8 hours. And the third category would be people who are overweight with slow digestion and who have deep thoughts. So they fall under the Kapha Prakriti category, and they need around 8 to 9 hours. So you need to understand your Prakriti, and then you will get to know what is the correct amount of sleep. But at the same time, it's not only dependent on your Prakriti. There are a few people who are used to sleeping a certain amount of time, and so you need to understand what your body requires, and that only comes by observation. So you need to know, like, if you have these many hours of sleep, are you able to work better or not work better? So you need to understand your body. There's also another concept mentioned in Ayurveda, and that is in relation to your seasonal regimens. Ayurveda says that afternoon sleep is to be contraindicated in all seasons except summer season. So during Grishma Ritu or summer season, your bala in the body is naturally very low. So to compensate for that, we need to have afternoon sleep. And there's also one more thing which Ayurveda says, and that's if there are pregnant women, elderly people, children, or those suffering from respiratory issues, diarrhea, or indigestion, or people who are exhausted due to fright, terror, trauma. So these kind of people are eligible to sleep in the afternoon in any season. But apart from that, it's good to only sleep in the afternoon in the summer season. And this will make you understand the duration of sleep needed for any person.
Also, what is the ideal bedtime routine? Like, what are the activities one must follow before bed, or what should one do in order to have a good sleep?
So I'll start off with what you need to do in the evening. So it's ideal to take, after your evening walk or any exercise that you do, it's good to take a shower with warm water. And then you can have a light dinner from around 7:30 to 8:30. So it's imperative that you finish your dinner between this time. So it gives you ample amount of time to, relax and feel a little light before you go to bed. Because if you end up feeling heavy and you go to bed with that, it'll just lead to acidity or regurgitation or bloating. So after you have a light dinner, it's good to go off screen, and then you can do things related to writing, reading, painting, or anything of your fancy, any hobby that you prefer. And after that, you can have a walk, and at least 100 steps you should walk. And this is specifically told in Ayurveda that you need to walk 100 steps. So after that, you can also meditate if you want, and you can go to bed by 10.
So, as a doctor, you suggest that we should all go off screen devices after a certain point of time, that is, right before our bedtime.
That's true. So this is just to make you in zone to be prepared to have a good night's rest. If you keep scrolling on your phone or keep thinking about things, you're not able to you won't be able to fall asleep. It's not like you can't, you just won't. So you need to be off screens. I think it's just the world's way of saying that you need to now drop doing things that you're doing. You need to rest. It's time to rest. But now we have all these artificial lighting everywhere and it's bright, and you just don't feel like sleeping. You just, the more it becomes late, that's more active that you become, and that's actually not the right thing to do.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. Now there's a lot of clarity on the topic. According to Ayurveda, what are the few or the different practices one could follow to have an improved sleep?
We could first start with the room that you've chosen for sleeping. Usually people use the same room to eat, sleep, and do whatever they do in the day. So that has to be avoided if possible. The room should be just meant for sleeping, and it should be clean and hygienic and well ventilated. It should be very soothing and pleasing to the eye. You can avoid bright colors and colors like red or other colors which are not very pleasing to the eye. And then secondly, the cot. It's very important that your cot is knee length high, so you can sit on it without having to lie down directly after dinner. And it shouldn't be too high or too low. And your mattress also shouldn't be too soft or too hard. It should just be in the middle ground. And there's importance coming to the direction in which you sleep in. So it's good to sleep facing the east and on the left side. So this is something that you could follow along with having a light dinner and maybe a shower. And there's one more important thing that, though very small, actually has a huge impact on sleep. You can massage over your Brahmarandram or the anterior fontanelle, which is nothing but the midpoint of your scalp. You could massage there and around your eyes and in your feet, especially in circular motion. So that'll give you a very good night's rest. And you can also listen to certain pleasing music or some stories, or you can consume something that's very soothing in nature, and also limit your exposure to light, as we need to get into that state where you want to be able to fall asleep.
And lastly, could you tell us what are some of the food items that we should include in our diet to improve our sleep besides the routines that we follow?
So, food which are light in nature, easy to digest, and warm, this is what is most advisable at bedtime. And this is what will make you feel refreshed, and it will not weigh you down. At the same time, when we talk about insomnia, which is one of the sleeping disorders, we advise people to consume buffalo milk. On a regular day to day basis, you can consume cow's milk with roasted flaxseed powder or nutmeg or honey, and they're all good at inducing sleep. Or you can also go for a juice made of mint leaves or almonds, basically anything which is light in nature and nourishing. At the same time, you should avoid foods which are rajasika in nature. So, rajasika is, it might seem like a scary term, but it is nothing but foods which sort of don't let you settle down. It stimulates you, like spicy, salty food. This will lead to disturbed sleep and reoccurring, bad dreams. Food which is very heavy to digest, like meat, or stimulants such as coffee, and because of the caffeine or tannin in it, and also certain citrus fruits. So you can avoid all of this and choose a more sattvic ahara to go for dinner time.
Okay, okay, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much for being with us. And I really hope for all of you listening to this podcast, I hope this conversation has been insightful and it helps you all to have a better sleep from now on. And thank you, Doctor, for these facts and your thoughts about the topic.
Thank you. It's great to be on this show.
And I hope to catch up with you soon with new topics to talk about. And stay tuned and follow Swaro for more conversations on better and improved health. Thank you all and have a great day ahead.